Hey, what's up guys? We're here for my NPL quarterfinals versus Eric. We've played him 3 times so far. Well, this will be the 3rd time. So, anyway, like I said, he's a very good battler. You guys have seen me play him in the past, not even in this league, even in the league before this, in the GPSL. I played him twice, I think, in that league too. Yeah, and he's a very formidable opponent. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he actually won the division, so yeah. So what happens is, this is the first round of the playoffs, the quarterfinals, and if I win this battle, I believe I will play the winner of Aki or Aki and Alpha? Yeah, Alpha. So you guys know Alpha too. We've played him twice. He was another division opponent. So our conference is very, very tough, like I've mentioned in the past videos, and yeah, it's just going to be a really tough road to the finals. So I have to bring a very, very, I wouldn't call them crazy squad, but like something unique. I need to bring Pokemon that are going to do their job well and also catch my opponent off guard. So that's just my thinking whenever I went into team building, because Eric knows exactly what kind of player I am, and he can kind of pinpoint that and take advantage of it. The good thing is I know exactly what kind of player he is too, so it's just going to be a battle to the end. And there is no way that either of us are going to either sweep each other, or just it's always going to be a close battle, and it's always going to be an intense match. So I'll hop right into the team building process, and I'll just let you know his team. His team is Mega-Venusaur, Jirachi, Togekiss, Hydreigon, Tentacruel, Dugtrio, Chandelure, Sneasel, Rotom-Mow, Sawk, and Archeops. So arguably the best draft in the league, so it's going to be really hard to take down his walls. If you look at the synergy of Mega-Venusaur and Jirachi, it's actually very, very difficult to break through. Jirachi quadrants as Psychic, and it resists Flying, which are Mega-Venusaur's only weaknesses because of the fact that its Mega ability is Thick Fat. So it's going to be really, really tough to break through that. Also, Togekiss and Hydreigon are really not something I like prepping for, due to the fact that they are 2 immunities to Earthquake, and it's just going to be really tough to play around his core. He's got a very, very good core. Yeah, so it's just going to be tough, like I said. He's even got Fire, Water, Grass core and a Dragon Steel Fairy core. Both of them are very nice, actually. So I have to play around that as well. But I think we can do it, and I'll let you know why I went into team building. So first Pokemon we have here is our Latios, our Eon, and this is a very, very interesting set. If you guys, I don't know if you guys have ever seen a physical Latios, but it's definitely possible. Most people don't account for it really, and it's just there to catch people off guard, honestly. I want him to think that Jirachi is a easy switch into the Latios. And also this thing is kinda for Sneasel, because Sneasel is just annoying, honestly. I'm predicting him to bring either Lumberry Sneasel like he's brought in previous matches, or he could bring Scarf to outspeed my Latios. I believe Sneasel is 115 base speed if I'm not mistaken, so he might run Scarf to try to outrun me and then pick me off with either Knockoff or Icicle Crash. So I'm running Colbur Berry. I had a Lumberry on here earlier because of the fact that I didn't want Jirachi to T-Wave me. But I thought Colbur would be better in the end, because I don't want it getting pursuit trapped, or I don't want it to, well, I want it to be able to take that hit pretty much. So that's my thinking behind that. Not Yachi Berry. I know I could have run Yachi Berry as well, due to the fact that it gets Icicle Crash and Ice Shard as well. So this is the Latios set. I'm pretty sure the speed is to outspeed most things after +1, or even before +1 I outspeed most things. I think the only things I don't outspeed is something like Dugtrio max speed, and then obviously I think Archeops is 110, so I don't outspeed the Archeops, but I don't think maybe he'll run max speed, maybe he won't. But yeah, everything on his team is naturally fast. I believe his slowest Pokemon is maybe Mega-Venusaur or Sawk, or yeah, it's about 80 base speed. Maybe Togekiss, I'm not too sure, but he has a generally fast team, so he can throw a lot of HP investment in them because they're already naturally fast. So that's pretty cool for him. So I have to run a bit of extra power. That's why I'm running the Adamant Nature over the Jolly Nature, because of the fact that Jolly Nature Latios hits so weak. So we're running Adamant Max Attack investment just to be able to hit things harder. My coverage is actually great versus his team. Dragon Claw and Zen Headbutt, my 2 stab moves, take actually pretty much just beat everything except Jirachi. Now that I look at it, honestly, it's just going to plow through his team if I can get it up to +2, but it's going to be very, very difficult to accomplish that. But yeah, a +2 Earthquake also knocks out a Jirachi unless she is Chocoberry or a lot of physically defensive invested. At +1, I might outspeed his Scarf Jirachi. It depends how much he threw in the speed investment category. I don't know how much he would want to do. It just depends. So, and this is also a nice Levitate user. So that's the Latios set we are bringing. It's pretty interesting, but so are the rest of the sets. So anyway, going into the next Pokemon, we are bringing Permafrost, our Mamoswine, with Weakness Policy and Thick Fat. So if you guys know what Weakness Policy is, if I get hit with a super effective move on me, such as Giga Drain, such as Fire Blast, such as Scald, anything along the line of that that's super effective against me, and I live it, my Weakness Policy will activate and my attack raises by 2 and my special attack raises by 2, but that's not really a factor. But yeah, so my attack will raise by 2, making my attack at 400, and this thing will hit like a truck, even harder than it already does. So that's very, very nice. It's kind of designed to be able to take on the Venusaur. Like if he Giga Drains me, I can EQ and then knock him out with Ice Shard. I believe after Weakness Policy boost, my Earthquakes are doing about 80% to his Venusaur, which is just a crazy amount, honestly. Obviously, this thing beats Jirachi. If you want to click Iron Head on me, that's what this is for. I outspeed the especially defensive Jirachi set, even with a little bit of speed investment, so I speed crept that in case you wanted to bring a defensive set trying to check my Mega Pinsir, along with Latios. So that's the reasoning behind that, I guess. Also, Stealth Rocker, Ice Shard is great priority. I'm pretty sure a +2 Ice Shard is doing at least like 60 to 70% to his Togekiss, which is fantastic. Mamoswine is just great versus his team. It is one of the only things that can wall break potentially. That maybe I wouldn't say wall break, but it allows me to beat most of his team due to my natural my stab attack. So that's really nice. The only thing that I could see potentially checking this thing is something like it has to be Mega-Venusaur. Like Mega-Venusaur is the for sure answer. He could potentially run like Scarf Togekiss and Air Slash me to death, but I do pack the Ice Shard. Then you could run like Air Balloon, Chandelure, Air Balloon, Tentacruel. So it's just very makeshift that he has to make his team, and that's really, really nice for me. Also, maybe Saw can potentially beat this thing 1-on-1. But that's about it, honestly. Thick Fat's really nice for Icicle Crashes versus the Sneasel and things along the line of that. But yeah, and I believe, yeah, and the rest is just down into HP. So this thing is just there to like catch him off guard with the Weakness Policy and potentially put in some work after I set up some Stealth Rock. So that's the Mamoswine set we are bringing. Next Pokemon we are bringing is Meloetta. We are finally not running Assault Vest. I hope you guys appreciate that, because I sure do. Yeah, I didn't want to run Assault Vest for about the 3rd or 4th straight week. I can't remember. Yeah, I just kind of got tired of it. Even though it could have been, it could have worked. I needed a wall breaker, and this is the best wall breaker, honestly, for his team. It breaks through everything except Jirachi, even a Shadow Ball. Spec Shadow Ball is a 2-hit KO. Especially, I have the Serene Grace ability, so I have a 40% chance to drop his special defense, which is really nice too. But yeah, I'm choiced, so I'd really have to play around being choiced. U-turn is really nice for the fact that I think he's going to switch out and I can gain some initiative. I almost put Hyper Beam on the set instead of Hyper Voice, because Hyper Beam does like 70% to Spidef Jirachi, which is insane. But yeah, I didn't want to risk that extra turn of just being wasted, so we're just running Voice. Also goes through Substitute, which is really nice. Psychic breaks through the Mega-Venusaur, destroys the Tentacruel, and then it's just nice stab overall. I just gotta be careful around his dark types. I'm not running a fighting type coverage move on this Meloetta. If I think he's going to bring in one of the dark types, I'm going to either click Hyper Voice or U-turn. So I didn't want to run Blast or Focus Blast because of the fact that that thing always misses, and I didn't want to bring Hidden Power Fighting because I didn't think it would be very useful. So Voice is just nice stab, honestly. His normal resists consist of Jirachi, and that is it. Well, and Archeops, but I don't think he's going to. It's not really not really a resist, even though it is. So yeah. Anyway, that is the Meloetta set we are bringing. I think it'll work. I think the speed is to outspeed the Spidef Jirachi set as well, and outspeeding both of these no, they both outspeed Mega-Venusaur too, and I believe Togekiss. It just depends on the set, but more defensive set at least. Yeah, even like the Rotom-Mow and things along the line of that. Next Pokemon, this is Pangoro, our designer. And this is a very interesting set, honestly. I don't know if it'll work, but I have it on here just because I needed kind of a dark resist, and all my dark resist don't really beat the Hydreigon, so I just kind of brought something. Like, I didn't want to bring DNC because I thought it just doesn't match up well at all versus a team. If you look at Mega-Venusaur, Jirachi, and then even Tentacruel beat it. So yeah, I just didn't want to bring it. I could potentially get trapped by Doug, so I didn't want to bring it at all. Anyway, this thing is kind of nice because of the fact that I know he's going to probably bring Sleep Powder on his Mega-Venusaur, so I can have a Sleep Fodder already with the Sleep Talk, and I can potentially set up on this thing. If it comes down to Mega-Venusaur versus Pangoro, with my leftovers, I have a chance to beat him one-on-one due to my especially defensive investment. It kind of depends if he has Leech Seed. Leech Seed might make it a bit of a tie, honestly. But if I get some nice Sleep Talk rolls into Bulk Up and Drain Punch, I can potentially beat the Mega-Venusaur. At +6, I'm doing about 40 to 50% to him, depending on his set, and that's very nice, honestly. His Giga Drains, if he's uninvested, which I think he would be, are doing probably around low 20s%, so that's really nice. And he can't honestly touch me because I resist Sludge Bomb, and I don't think he would bring something like Leaf Storm, and even if he does, he's going to minus his, his special attack will go down by 2. So it's really makeshift, but it could potentially work. I have Scrappy for the Chandelure, just in case he wants to bring that, because I don't want him to get any free switch-ins. And yeah, so it's just a nice Spidef wall. It has a lot of HP, honestly. 95 base HP is really nice versus 71 Spidef. So it helps it make it a bit of a wall. I wouldn't call it a wall just because it is a Pangoro, but it could potentially work. Also, it's nice status absorber because I can just rest off any toxic, any T-Wave yeah, he wants to throw at me. So the only problem with this is the fact that he has a Togekiss, and Togekiss just totally destroys Pangoro almost no matter what set it is. I know Pangoro gets like Gunk Shot and stuff like that, so maybe he'll be a little bit hesitant until he sees my set. So that's what I'm kind of banking on, and I'm kind of banking on I have to kill the Togekiss before I really set up with this thing and do some damage. So that's my thinking behind the Pangoro. So the next Pokemon we have is Thundurus, our Blitzkrieg, with the Yachi Berry and the Prankster ability. Yachi Berry is potentially for the Sneasel, pretty much it. He loves bringing in the Sneasel on the Thundurus because, I mean, it's probably his best bet for it, honestly. I'm running Thunderbolt and HP Flying just because of the fact that it is really nice coverage versus his entire team. I hit everything neutrally, I believe. I'm almost positive, yeah, because his Flying resists are Archeops and Jirachi. So, yeah, that's awesome. Anyway, yeah, the Rotom-Mow is a Grass type too, so I can hit that neutrally. Nasty Plot is really nice to set up on things because of the fact that I can set up on a lot, actually. Usually you don't want to stay in with your Tentacruel. I mean, it could have Ice Beam, but anyway. Rotom-Mow I could set up on. I could set up on Sock probably. He could have Stone Edge, so maybe I can't. But yeah, even Mega-Venusaur I can set up on, which is really nice. Also, T-Wave is just perfect. Prankster T-Wave is just amazing. It's hacks. It's just T-Wave, best move in the game. Anyway, max speed to outspeed his base 110 Pokemon, which include Archeops, I believe, and yeah, I think that's the only base 110. Yeah, everything else is like 90ish or 100. So anyway, outspeed pretty much his entire team except Sneasel. Yachi Berry for the Sneasel. If I set up a plot, I will OHKO the Sneasel. Even if I don't set up a plot, I'm pretty sure Thunderbolt kills after Stealth Rock, so that's pretty nice. And then yeah, HP Flying is just nice for the Venusaur and things that resist people. So last Pokemon we are bringing is probably the most interesting set, honestly. And that's tough to say because there has been some really interesting sets. We're running Kofag, our Yami, with the Custat Berry and the ability of Mummy. So as you guys can see, we're running Shadow Ball, HP Fighting for the Sneasel and the Hydreigon. Will-O-Wisp is just nice to burn everything because of the fact that he doesn't really have nice burn answers except the Sawk that gets Guts, but I don't think he's going to bring it. So I just want to burn everything that I can, just try to status it, and the Custap Berry D-Bond is what I'm going for. I want to bring down something with my Cofagrigus, and pretty much this is I wouldn't call it like a suicide lead because I don't know if I'm going to lead with it, but it's there to potentially take out a Pokemon that I don't want alive on his team. Like I said, the Togekiss is really annoying for my designer, so if I need that gone, I can pretty much Custap D-Bond the Togekiss and it will go down. So that's about it. Anyway, special attack investment is for the Sneasel to make sure I OHKO it. It's not a for sure thing. It's about a 60% chance to OHKO it, and I will take that because most of the time they're either Life Orb too, so he'll have to hit me with Life Orb or do something like that. I believe it's like a 3 or 4 hit KO on the Hydreigon. I want to say 3, depending on his set. If he's an offensive set, it's definitely a 3. If he's a defensive set, it could be a 4. So I gotta watch out for that. But Custap Berry is going to be clutch in my opinion. I hope so. So I'll hop right into the game. And as you guys can see, he brings the Mega-Venusaur, the Sneasel, the Jirachi, Togekiss, the Archeops, and the Rotom-Mow. So really, I wasn't expecting Rotom-Mow at all. I was kind of expecting Archeops because of the fact that Pinsir, it actually checks Pinsir quite well. But yeah, I was kind of expecting either Tentacruel or Hydreigon to show up instead of the Rotom-Mow. Maybe he was frustrated like the very first time I played him. I T-Waved like everything, so maybe he wanted a T-Wave absorber. But yeah, anyway, Rotom-Mow is going to be, I wouldn't say too big of an issue. So I will just hop into the replay. So looking at his team, I think he's going to lead off with either his Stealth Rocker, which is Archeops. It could potentially be Jirachi, but since he brought the Archeops, I would think that is his Stealth Rocker. And yeah, if he doesn't lead with that, he's probably just going to lead off with his Mega-Venusaur, trying to get his Mega Evolution off as soon as possible. So I just go lead with my Cofagrigus because it's the safest thing, and I could potentially burn like anything. So he goes into his Jirachi. It looks like he is Choice Scarf after that damage, and he went for the U-turn right off the bat, so that's nice to know. Go for the Will-O-Wisp, burn the Archeops on the switch-in. I think he's just going to set up rocks, so I go into my own Mamoswine here, trying to set up my own. Just because of the fact that rocks are so nice versus a Togekiss and a Sneasel, so I have to set them up as soon as possible, and it's just nice chip damage versus the Mega-Venusaur too. So he knocks off my weakness policy, which is kind of annoying, but it's still manageable. And I crit the Ice Shard. It was a roll, depending on his set. I don't know his set. Yeah, we don't know if that mattered. He can't really do too much to my Mamoswine anyway after being burned, so I'm not too worried about it. Go into this thing because it's my sleep fodder, like I mentioned earlier. And because of the fact that Mamoswine is very important versus him, honestly. So he goes for the Leech Seed after the knockoff, which is kind of annoying because of the fact that without my leftovers and with the Leech Seed up, it's going to be much harder to potentially beat this thing one-on-one. But my idea here is try to phase him out and try to scare him. I don't really have much for it. I have to click rest on after the next Giga Drain. And just hope for some Sleep Talk rolls. So after the rest, he looks to, I guess, get scared and then switch out. So he switches out into the Togekiss like he should, because this thing just gets hard walled by it. And I just get a bulk up on the Sleep Talk, and he's going to get some Leech Seed recovery. So I have to switch out here because I'm just going to die to an Air Slash. So I'm just going to go back into the Cofagrigus and try to work my Destiny Bond magic. So he goes to the Air Slash and misses, which is so funny because of the fact that he always misses Air Slash. I'm sorry for the hacks, but it's just so funny. It happens almost every single time he brings Togekiss with Air Slash. So I burn the Togekiss. I believe this thing would carry Heal Bell, so I just go for the Will-O-Wisp again. And so I'm just kind of, I guess I'm forcing him to click Heal Bell. So I just go for the Shadow Ball in the next one because I know he's just going to click Heal Bell over and over again. And I have a chance to miss Will-O-Wisp. So I just go for the Shadow Ball, trying to do a little bit of chip damage. He probably carries Roost too, so I'm going to try to make him feel like he can beat me one-on-one. So going to stay in and click Destiny Bond here as I'm in the range of my Custap Berry, which is really nice. And I go for the Destiny Bond as he Air Slashes me to death, so his Togekiss goes down as well. So that's fantastic. Togekiss is out of the way, which is a huge fighting resist, and it's just a huge a nuisance to my team. So anyway, bringing this thing, and he actually brings his Jirachi, which is Scarfed because he switches out, and I get a free Nasty Plot up, which is fantastic. Go for the HP Flying here, and it looks like that is AV or some sort, maybe very, very specially defensive, because that did nothing after at +2, because that is stab and a neutral attack. So anyway, he goes into this thing as I click T-Bolt as he clicks Ice Shard, luckily. If he clicked Crash, I would have died. But yeah, I was really, really banking on him clicking the Ice Shard there. If I would have clicked T-Wave, because I didn't click T-Wave because I thought he would be Lumberry, and he actually ended up being Lumberry, as you can see on the chat. And I'm able to paralyze the Jirachi too. So going to Mamoswine here, and just going to click Earthquake. There's no point to predict the Rotom-Mow because I do have Ice Shard in the back that would knock it out after Stealth Rock. And he just goes into the Mega-Venusaur, which I had to pretty much sack something here, so I just go into the Pancor because it really does nothing. It is already asleep anyway, and it already lost its leftovers, and now it's leech seeded. So this thing is just going to sit here and pretty much die. As you can see, it's actually eating those Giga Drains pretty well. But yeah. Anyway, so this Pangoro is going to go down to the next Giga Drain, and I get to bring in my Meloetta, which specs and outspeeds both of his Mons because, well, it should outspeed both of his Mons, and it's going to eat no matter what he has. So just go for the Psychic, knock him out because specs, and that's modest max special attack investment, and it's just going to kill off the last two Pokemon on this team. So that was a fantastic game. The sets actually were pretty clutch, honestly, especially the Yashi Berry and the Custap Berry sets. Put in a lot of work versus the team, and yeah, it was a great game. It was just a great game. So we play Aki in the next round. He was actually the winner of the league last year, so we are taking on the former champ, and hopefully we can beat him. I have to prep a lot because he's also a great battler, and I am looking forward to it. So great battle to Eric. I had to bring a lot of heat, honestly, and it worked. It could have went either way. But yeah, fantastic battle. I can't wait to play him again, honestly, because of the fact that I love prepping for him, and I don't know, I just feel like when we play it's just different than all the other battles. But anyway, that was my interpretation of the battle, and I hope to see you guys next weekend when we take on the former champ. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.